pigsty, sorry. There are 3 piglets playing. Down on the farm pond there are 1, 2, 3, 4 ducklings diving. And hidden in the cornfield there are, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mice munching. It's a nice book, isn't it? Yeah, let's move on to another one. Shall we do Blackcurrant's birthday? Looks a bit like you, doesn't it? All in a mess. Mommy has to clean up all the time. Okay. Big Bamboo was such a lazy panda. He always woke up late. One morning he woke up very late indeed. As he lay dozing, he thought he heard a noise coming from downstairs. What was all that banging and clattering? Oh no, said Big Bamboo. Work. Oh no. Big Bamboo didn't like work at all. He much preferred eating. He climbed out of bed and got dressed. Then he crept downstairs on tiptoes, which for a big panda like him was not easy, and sneaked out of the house. He was going to find somewhere to hide so he wouldn't have to work. He didn't realise the other jam pandas had heard him. They were looking at each other, smiling. Little did Bamboo know that the work was all for him. He wasn't very good at remembering things, unless of course it was where his secret jam supply was hidden, and had forgotten that today was actually his birthday. But the other jam pandas had remembered, and now they were secretly preparing a special birthday party just for him. They had worked hard all morning, and at last everything was ready. The cottage had been decorated with balloons, and the table was covered with jam sandwiches, jam sponges, and even jam jelly. There were party hats and a lot of presents. Grandma Jam knew what Big Bamboo's favourite present would be, a specially big pot of delicious blackcurrant jam. You like blackcurrant jam, don't you? Yeah. And Ribena. All they needed now was Big Bamboo, and the party could begin. But where was he? The jam pandas set to look for him. First they looked in the garden. Can't be that far away, said Ma Jam. But he wasn't in the garden. Perhaps he's in the orchard, said Grandma. Peaches and Plum, the cheeky twins, searched for Big Bamboo in the orchard. I'm sure they'll find him here, said Ma Jam. But he wasn't in the orchard. But perhaps he's in the wood, said Pa. Pa searched all through the wood, but Big Bamboo just wasn't there either. Just then, little Jim Jam began crawling away. Big Bam, he said. Jumping jam spoons, said Grandma. That little chap's got an idea. Jim Jam was heading straight for the blackcurrant patch. In almost no time at all, he had disappeared among the bushes. Peaches and Plum were not far behind him. Look, they shouted, pointing excitedly at the blackcurrant patch. It's Big Bamboo. Big Bamboo loved blackcurrants. They were his favourite fruit of all. He had been hiding there all morning, and he had eaten nearly every blackcurrant in the patch. Now he looked like a very poorly panda indeed. Oh, he groaned. My tummy hurts. Back at the cottage, Big Bamboo went straight to bed. Oh, he groaned again. What a birthday. Grandma set to work at once and prepared a big pot of a special medical jam. Before long, Big Bamboo was feeling much better, but he was disappointed that he missed his party and spoiled his big surprise. "I'm very sorry," he told the others. "I'll try not to be so greedy in the future." The next day he got up and went downstairs and, surprise! Happy birthday, Big Bamboo. The Jam Pandas had decided that Big Bamboo had suffered enough from his greediness and to hold a big party a day late. Besides, it would be terrible to waste all those lovely jam sandwiches. Look, happy birthday. The end. I think we've got time for one more story. You look like you're pretty sleepy already. Bless you. What book should we do next? Let's do this one. Pooh's Search for Honey. Winnie the Pooh was a very tubby bear. He lived in an old oak tree in the 100-acre wood. Every morning Pooh did his exercises, but seeing his tummy reminded him of his favourite thing, honey. Pooh heard a bee buzzing and followed it. Bees meant honey. Pooh followed the bee to a tall tree. Up and up he climbed. He stretched forwards towards the honey hole. But poor Pooh fell down, and landed in a prickly bush. Pooh still wanted the honey. He went to ask his very best friend, Christopher Robin, to help. Pooh found his friend with Kangaroo, Eeyore and Owl. Pooh asked Christopher Robin if he could borrow a big blue balloon. He covered himself in mud to look like a rain cloud. Pooh floated up to the honey hole and scooped out a big paw-full of honey. The bees were very angry and chased Pooh. Suddenly the balloon burst, and a whoosh, Pooh fell down and was caught by Christopher Robin. That's lucky, isn't it? His friends ran to a big puddle and hid it from the bees underneath Christopher Robin's umbrella. Christopher Robin hugged Pooh. "You're such a silly, lovable old bear," he said. Oh, that was quite a short story, wasn't it? Let me have a look. Should we do Are We Nearly There next? Are we nearly asleep? Today was the day for Daisy and Dad's journey. Daisy had been staying with her grandparents, but now Dad had to come and collect her to take her somewhere even more special. Daisy couldn't wait to set off, so as soon as they had said their goodbyes, she decided she began to run along the twisty track. At first Daisy ran as fast as she could, but little by little she began to tire. "Are we nearly there?" asked Daisy. "It's Rabbit," she explained. "He's too tired to go any further." Dad shook his head, but he tucked Rabbit on top of the rucksack, and Daisy paddled off along the twisty track. Daisy and Dad padded side by side, but suddenly something rumbled. "Are we nearly there?" shouted Daisy above the noise. "It's my tummy," she explained. "It's too empty to go any further." Dad shook his head, but he rummaged through the rucksack and found the food. Daisy ate all of her picnic and most of Dad's. For a while she was too full to go any further, so Daisy had a little snooze, and before long she felt light enough to dance along the twisty track. But Daisy was where she was dancing, she didn't see the bed of nettles. Ow, ow, ow. Are we nearly there? Wailed Daisy. It's my paws, she explained. They're too hot and stinky to go any further. Dad shook his head, but he blew and blew until Daisy's paws were cool again and she could bounce along the twisty track. Dad was just getting into his bounce when there was a crackle of lightning. Next there was a crash of thunder. And then, as soon as thunder and lightning had stopped, it began to pour with rain. Oh no. Daisy didn't like getting wet. Are we nearly there? She shivered. It's my fur, explained Daisy. It's too soggy to go any further. Dad shook his head, but he rummaged in their rucksack and brought out a towel. Rub-a-dub-dub, rub-a-dub-dub, went Dad, until his arms ached and Daisy was warm and dry. Oh look, cried Daisy, it's a rainbow, and she skipped towards it along the twisty track. The sun grew warm, then hot. Phew! Are we nearly there? Panted Daisy. It's me, she explained. I'm too floppy to go any further. Dad flopped down too. So am I, he said. Oh no, cried Daisy. Now we'll never get there. But Dad was already rummaging right to the bottom of their rucksack. At last he found what he wanted. It's a bottle of Grandma's famous fizz, he beamed. So she told me to keep it for emergencies only. Dad held the bottle in a stream to cool it. Said Daisy and Dad. They both drank exactly half each. As soon as they'd finished their fizz, Dad swung Daisy onto his shoulders. Then he carried her round the final twist in the track. And suddenly Daisy could see for herself. Dad, look, Dad, she cried. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Dad set Daisy gently on the ground. Come on, she told him, and together they ran the rest of the way to the end of the twisty track.